Imagine Earth, a planet without its oceans. Our vibrant blue sphere, now a dull brown, dotted with the scars of empty ocean basins. Deserts stretch where coral reefs once flourished. The air, once alive with the cries of seabirds and the scent of salt spray, is eerily silent, heavy with dust. The oceans, covering over 70% of our planet, are far more than just vast bodies of water. They regulate our climate, generate the air we breathe, and provide sustenance to billions. Yet, we often take them for granted, treating them as dumping grounds for our waste and over-exploiting their resources. What if we continue down this destructive path? What if the oceans, pushed beyond their limits, were to vanish? The very air we breathe, the food we eat, the stable climate we depend on, all are intricately linked to the existence of our oceans. Let us delve into this unsettling possibility, not to succumb to despair, but to truly understand the urgency with which we must act to safeguard our oceans. The oceans are the lungs of our planet, responsible for generating over half the oxygen we breathe. Microscopic plants called phytoplankton, drifting in the sunlit surface waters, perform this vital function through photosynthesis. Without oceans, the tireless work of these tiny organisms would cease, and the consequences would be dire. The planet's oxygen levels would plummet, suffocating life as we know it. Forests, though vital oxygen producers, could not compensate for the loss of this oceanic powerhouse. The air would grow heavy, stagnant, and increasingly difficult to breathe. Land animals, from insects to mammals, would gasp for breath, their bodies starved of the oxygen needed to survive. Birds, their wings heavy in the thinning air, would struggle to stay aloft. The once vibrant symphony of life on Earth would be reduced to a desperate struggle for survival. Without oceans, this greenhouse gas would accumulate rapidly, leading to a runaway greenhouse effect and a planet baking under an unforgiving sun. The oceans act as Earth's giant thermostat, absorbing and distributing heat from the sun. Without oceans, the Earth would be at the mercy of the sun's relentless energy. Temperatures would soar to unprecedented levels, turning once fertile lands into scorching deserts. The polar ice caps would vanish in a matter of years, not centuries, causing sea levels to rise and engulfing coastal cities. Hurricanes, fueled by the overheated atmosphere, would rage with unprecedented fury. Droughts would grip vast regions, turning once fertile farmlands into barren wastelands. Floods, triggered by torrential downpours, would inundate low-lying areas, displacing millions. The Earth, once teeming with life, would become a desolate and inhospitable place. The oceans are a symphony of life, a vibrant tapestry of creatures great and small, all interconnected in a delicate web of interdependence. Without oceans, this intricate web of life would collapse, leading to a mass extinction event unlike anything Earth has ever seen. Fish, the primary source of protein for billions of people, would vanish, along with the countless other species that depend on them for survival. Seabirds, their food source gone, would perish in droves. Coral reefs, often called the rainforests of the sea, would bleach and die, taking with them the vibrant communities of marine life they support. The once teeming oceans would become barren wastelands, devoid of the sights and sounds that make them so captivating. The loss of biodiversity would extend far beyond the oceans, impacting life on land in profound ways. The intricate balance of ecosystems would be disrupted, leading to further extinctions and unforeseen consequences. For billions of people around the world, the oceans are a lifeline, providing a vital source of food and livelihoods. Without oceans, this vital source of food and income would vanish overnight, plunging millions into poverty and hunger. Coastal communities, their economies intrinsically linked to the sea, would be devastated. Fishing fleets would sit idle, their nets empty, a stark symbol of the economic and social upheaval that would grip the world. The global food supply chain would be thrown into chaos. Fish, a staple food for billions, would disappear from markets, leading to soaring prices and widespread shortages. Malnutrition would skyrocket, particularly in developing countries where fish often provide the primary source of protein. The economic and social consequences of ocean disappearance would be felt far and wide, triggering mass migrations, political instability, and widespread conflict over dwindling resources. The oceans are not static bodies of water, but are in constant motion, driven by winds, tides, and differences in temperature and salinity. Without oceans, these vital currents would cease to exist, disrupting global weather patterns in dramatic and unpredictable ways. The jet stream, a fast-flowing air current that influences weather in the northern hemisphere, would weaken or disappear altogether, leading to more extreme temperature swings and unpredictable weather events. The El Niño Southern Oscillation, or ensue, a climate pattern driven by interactions between the ocean and atmosphere in the tropical Pacific, would be a thing of the past. Ensue, which influences weather patterns around the world, can bring about floods, droughts, and other extreme weather events. Its absence would disrupt agricultural cycles, water resources, and ecosystems on a global scale. The disappearance of ocean currents would trigger a cascade of climatic changes, leading to a more volatile and unpredictable climate, making it increasingly difficult for humans and other species to adapt and survive. The oceans play a crucial role in the water cycle, evaporating vast amounts of water that eventually return to the land as rain and snow. Without oceans, this vital source of freshwater would dwindle, leading to widespread droughts and desertification. Rainforests, the lungs of our planet and home to a staggering array of biodiversity, would wither and die, transforming into arid landscapes. Rivers and lakes would dry up, leaving behind parched riverbeds and empty lake basins. The once fertile lands that border the world's oceans would transform into vast dust bowls, prone to dust storms that would choke the air and bury entire cities. The Sahara Desert, already the largest hot desert in the world, would expand exponentially, encroaching on once populated areas and exacerbating the global water crisis. The loss of freshwater sources would have a devastating impact on agriculture, leading to crop failures, food shortages, and mass migrations. The disappearance of the oceans would trigger a domino effect of catastrophic consequences, each compounding the next and pushing humanity to the brink of collapse. The loss of oxygen, the runaway greenhouse effect, the collapse of food systems, the scarcity of fresh water, all of these factors would converge to create a world in chaos. Mass migrations, driven by famine, drought, and extreme weather events, would overwhelm borders and resources. Conflicts over dwindling resources would erupt, further destabilizing the world order. Cities, once vibrant centers of human ingenuity and culture, would become overcrowded and unsustainable, struggling to provide basic services to their inhabitants. The very fabric of society as we know it would unravel. Governments would struggle to maintain order, economies would collapse, and social structures would break down. The disappearance of the oceans would be a stark reminder of our interconnectedness with the natural world and the fragility of human civilization. The scenario of a world without oceans may seem like a dystopian fantasy, a far-fetched hypothetical. However, the reality is that we are already witnessing the consequences of our neglect of the oceans, albeit on a smaller scale. Rising sea levels, ocean acidification, coral bleaching, and overfishing are all warning signs, a glimpse into a future that could become our reality if we fail to act. The question is not whether we can survive a world without oceans, but whether we can avert such a catastrophic fate. The answer lies in our collective will to change, to acknowledge the interconnectedness of all life on Earth, and to embrace a more sustainable and harmonious relationship with our planet. We must act now with urgency and determination to protect and restore our oceans. We must reduce our carbon footprint, transition to renewable energy sources, and embrace sustainable fishing practices. The fate of our oceans, and indeed the fate of humanity, hangs in the balance. The oceans, vast and seemingly inexhaustible, have long been a source of mystery, wonder, and sustenance for humanity. They have shaped our history, our cultures, and our very existence. Yet for too long, we have treated them as an infinite resource, a dumping ground for our waste, and a battleground for our greed. The time has come to change our ways. We must recognize the oceans for what they are, the lifeblood of our planet, the cradle of biodiversity, and a source of wonder and inspiration for generations to come. We must shift from a mindset of exploitation to one of stewardship, recognizing that the health of our oceans is inextricably linked to our own well-being. The future of our oceans, and indeed the future of humanity, depends on the choices we make today.